Every morning is a new beginning, a blank page written by the words you speak. Before the sun rises high, before the world begins to rush, you hold the power to command your day, to shape your reality, to call forth abundance with your words. So today, I invite you to speak not from fear, but from faith, not from lack, but from divine supply, because money is not your master, it is your servant. It obeys your vibration. It responds to your command, and when you align with the infinite source, it flows freely, endlessly, joyfully. Pause, transition to energy and rhythm. Repeat this with conviction each morning. Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right now reach me in perfect ways under grace. I am a magnet for money. Wealth flows to me in rivers of gold. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. Nothing can stop the blessings meant for me. Say it not as a plea, but as a declaration. Speak it like it's already yours, because it is. Rising intensity, motivational surge. You are not meant to chase. You are meant to attract. You are not meant to worry. You are meant to trust. You are not meant to live small. You are meant to live abundantly. Every morning, your words set the tone of your world. If you say, I never have enough, the universe agrees. But if you say, I live in an ocean of supply, the universe rushes to fulfill it. Let gratitude fill your heart. Thank the money that's already on its way. Thank the opportunities not yet seen. Thank the divine intelligence that never fails. And when doubts whisper, answer with truth. There is no power in lack. There is only one power, and that is the power of good, the power of abundance, the power of God flowing through me now. Today, you rise above limitation. Today, you speak prosperity into being. Today, you align with the law of increase, and all that is yours begins to move toward you. So say it again, louder, stronger, freer. Money flows to me easily and endlessly. I am open, I am ready, I am abundant now and forever. The moment you speak in faith, something shifts, doors open, energy moves, supply appears. Remember this truth each morning. You are not waiting for abundance. Abundance is waiting for you to believe. Words are the most powerful force in existence. They are not mere sounds vibrating in the air, nor are they empty syllables that vanish once spoken. Words are living entities, seeds of creation, invisible threads that weave the fabric of reality. Every word you speak carries within it an intention, a vibration, and an energy that when you speak with conviction, faith, and clarity, you command the universe to align circumstances, people, and opportunities according to your spoken decree. You do not need shout to be heard. Even the quietest whisper, when spoken with unwavering belief, can echo through the infinite mind of creation. Every great movement, invention, or miracle in human history began first as a word spoken or unspoken. A word is a thought made visible, a vibration released into ethers, a bridge between the spiritual and material worlds. The creative process begins with thought, but it is activated through the spoken word. Thought alone is potential energy, but the moment you speak, you convert potential into kinetic force. You breathe life into the invisible. That is why ancient teachers, mystics, and sages have always emphasized the sacredness of speech. The word abracadabra, often reduced to a magician's phrase, actually means I create as I speak. This is not poetry, it is metaphysical law. What you speak consistently becomes the blueprint that your life follows. Your words are like commands issued to a faithful servant, the subconscious mind. It does not reason, question, or analyze. It only receives and obeys. When you declare, I can't afford it, the subconscious mind says, very well, and begins shaping your experiences to match that command. When you speak, money flows easily and constantly into my life. The subconscious accepts that as a new order and begins to attract circumstances that fulfill it. It does not know whether you are joking or complaining. It simply manifests what you affirm. That is why careless speech can become dangerous. People often curse their finances without realizing it, repeating phrases like I'm always broke, money doesn't stay with me, or I never have enough. These words seem harmless in casual conversation, but they carry the power to reinforce limitation and lack. When you speak words of faith, you plant seeds of prosperity. When you speak words of fear, you plant weeds of struggle. The soil of your life cannot reject what you plant. It will grow whatever you sow, whether roses or thorns. Therefore, it is essential to become conscious of every word you utter, especially about money, success, and opportunity. Each statement is an affirmation, and every affirmation is a prayer. When you speak negatively about your finances, you are not describing your reality. You are creating your next one. You are reinforcing patterns that the universe, obedient and neutral, will fulfill without question. But when you declare abundance, even in the midst of lack, you set in motion forces that will ultimately bring it into form. The creative power of the spoken word lies not just in the sound, but in the emotion that fuels it. Words without belief are hollow. It is the emotion behind the word that gives it wings. When you speak with passion, gratitude, and faith, you ignite a vibrational signal that resonates far beyond the limits of logic. That vibration gathers matching frequencies and returns to you in the form of ideas, opportunities, and manifestations. You do not need to know how it will happen. That is not your task. Your only responsibility is to declare with certainty, to maintain your inner faith, and to expect results with unwavering confidence. Consider the way you speak to yourself each day. The conversations you have internally are just as powerful as the ones you speak aloud. When you rise in the morning, do you greet the day by saying, "I am blessed, prosperous, and favored"? Or do you sigh, "Another hard day ahead"? Those few words spoken at dawn can determine the tone of your entire day. The mind will filter every event through the lens of the words you began with. If you say the day will be difficult, your mind will unconsciously seek evidence to prove it right. But if you affirm that abundance, opportunity, and ease are yours, your awareness will tune itself to recognize the signs of prosperity already around you. Speech is not merely communication, it is creation. When you declare success, doors begin to open. When you speak love, harmony fills your relationships. When you bless your money instead of cursing it, it multiplies. When you speak health, your body aligns with vitality. The vibration of the word moves through the invisible substance of the universe, shaping matter, drawing resources, and influencing the hearts and minds of others in ways you cannot physically see. There is no such thing as idle speech. Every sentence is either building or dismantling your future. You are a walking, breathing creator, armed with the most powerful tool ever given to humanity, the spoken word. You may not yet see the results of your words, but rest assured that they are working behind the scenes. Just as a seed does not sprout the moment it is planted, the words you speak take root in unseen soil before breaking through. Keep affirming prosperity even when the evidence contradicts it. Keep blessing your finances even when they seem small. The law of growth guarantees that what is spoken in faith must eventually bear fruit. The universe is mathematically exact. It never fails to reproduce the nature of the seed planted. If you plant the seed of abundance through your words, abundance must come. It is law. Some people think it is dishonest to speak abundance while living in lack. But the truth is, you are not lying. When you affirm wealth, you are speaking from a higher truth. You are declaring the reality of your divine nature, not your temporary condition. The conditions of your life are like clouds that come and go, but the truth of abundance is like the sun that never ceases to shine. When you declare prosperity, you are calling forth the sun to shine again upon your circumstances. It is not denial, it is affirmation of the higher order of reality. The secret is to speak asterisk as if it were already done asterisk. Say, "I am prosperous," not "I will be prosperous." The moment you place your good in the future, you postpone it. Speak in the present tense because in the spiritual realm there is no delay, only now. Speak with gratitude as though you have already received it, and you magnetize it to you faster. Every time you declare, "I am wealthy," money comes to me in perfect ways, or "I am divinely provided for," you are programming the universe to deliver that experience. The more you repeat it with feeling, the stronger the pattern becomes, until one day your spoken word crystallizes into Your life today is the echo of yesterday's words. Your tomorrow will be the echo of today's declarations. If you want to change your future, change your words. Speak abundance until lack becomes uncomfortable in your presence. Speak wealth until your energy refuses to entertain limitation. Speak success until every cell of your being vibrates with confidence. You are the architect of your reality, and your words are the tools with which you build. So guard your speech with reverence. Bless every dollar that passes through your hands. Bless every opportunity, every challenge, every lesson. Speak life into your goals, peace into your relationships, strength into your soul. And when you speak of money, speak with love, not fear, with gratitude, not greed. For money, like everything else in this universe, responds to vibration, and the highest vibration you can send is one of faith, filled, joyful expectancy. Remember always, your words are not powerless wishes. They are commands to the universe, decrees to your subconscious, and invitations to the infinite supply that surrounds you. Speak with intention, speak with purpose, speak with faith, for the words you utter each day are shaping your destiny sentence by sentence, prayer by prayer, and declaration by declaration. Money is not a mystery. It is a form of energy, an ever-moving current that flows through the universe without beginning or end. It is not controlled by banks, governments, or chance. It is governed by divine law. The law of divine supply states that there is no shortage in universe. Lack is not truth, it is illusion. Abundance is reality. Just as the air is endless, so is the supply of wealth, opportunity, and creative ideas that sustain life. Every living being draws breath without fear of running out, and so too should we draw from the infinite source of supply. Without doubt or hesitation, money is not evil, nor is it holy, it is neutral. It takes on the character of the one who holds it. In the hands of a fearful person, it becomes a symbol of struggle. In the hands of one who trusts the divine law, it becomes an instrument of blessing, expansion, and joy. The universe was not designed for poverty or limitation. It was designed for balance, beauty, and abundance. Every star, every leaf, every grain of sand testifies to this overflowing richness. Yet, human beings often believe themselves separate from it, imagining that wealth is reserved for chosen few. This belief cuts them off from the ever-flowing river of divine supply that was meant to nourish every soul. The first step to aligning with this law is to understand that supply is spiritual, not material. Money, houses, jobs, and possessions are only outer expressions of inner belief. They are reflections of the consciousness that holds them. When a person fears lack, their energy contracts, shutting the door to supply. When a person knows, deep within, that their needs are met by divine intelligence, they open the channel for wealth to pour in. Money is a reflection, not a cause. It mirrors the condition of the mind. A person who believes in abundance attracts abundance. One who speaks of scarcity attracts scarcity. The outer world bends itself to the inner conviction. Imagine a river constantly flowing. Some stand on the banks and complain that the river is unfair, that others have more water. Others dip their hands in timidly, believing they must struggle for every drop. But the wise ones, the ones who understand the law, walk boldly into the current and let it carry them. They do not try to own the river. They become one with its rhythm. They know that as they give water, more comes to replace it. The same principle governs money. When you understand that supply is infinite, you stop grasping, hoarding, and fearing. You begin to circulate it joyfully, knowing that it will always return, often multiplied. To live in harmony with divine supply, you must replace the idea of earning with the idea of receiving. The universe is not a marketplace where you trade labor for reward. It is an intelligent system that responds to consciousness. Your work is not the source of your money, it is the channel. The true source is the divine mind, the infinite substance of life itself. If one channel closes, another will open, for the source is never depleted. When you understand this, fear dissolves. You no longer cling to jobs, people, or possessions as if your survival depends on them. You rest in the knowledge that what belongs to you by divine right cannot be taken, and what is not meant for you will pass by harmlessly. Many people live in tension because they confuse money with security, but true security lies only in the awareness of divine supply. Money may come and go, but the source never fails. When you know this, you stop chasing money and begin attracting it naturally. You work joyfully, give freely, and trust fully. This shift in consciousness magnetizes opportunities, ideas, and people that align with your highest good. The law of divine supply does not require struggle, it requires alignment. It asks only that you recognize your unity with infinite intelligence and act in faith rather than fear. One of the greatest blocks to supply is the belief in competition. Many think that if another person prospers, it leaves less for them. But the universe is not a limited pie. It is an expanding field of infinite potential. The success of one creates pathways for the success of others. When you bless the prosperity of others, you affirm that abundance is plentiful and that you, too, are part of that flow. Envy, jealousy, and comparison shut the channel of supply because they affirm lack. Gratitude, generosity, and praise open the channel because they affirm plenty. To align with the law of divine supply, you must think abundance, speak abundance, and act abundance. Speak words that affirm plenty. There is enough for everyone. I am divinely provided for. Money flows to me easily and continuously. Each declaration strengthens your connection to the infinite source. As you do, circumstances begin to rearrange themselves in ways beyond logic. Unexpected opportunities appear. Ideas surface that lead to new streams of income. People arrive at the perfect time to open doors you didn't know existed. These are not coincidences, they are the natural response of the universe to a mind aligned with its laws. It is also essential to give as part of this circulation. The universe operates on a rhythm of outflow and inflow, like breathing. When you give money, time, service, or encouragement, you activate that rhythm. Giving with joy tells the universe that you trust its supply, that you are not afraid of running out. The energy you release returns multiplied because what you send out always finds its way back. Giving begrudgingly or from obligation does not carry the same vibration. It must be done in freedom and joy. The cheerful giver is always blessed because their giving flows from the consciousness of abundance. Faith is the key that unlocks divine supply. You may not see where the next payment will come from, but when you hold steadfast in the knowing that divine intelligence never fails, the way opens sometimes through channels you could never predict. The unseen becomes seen when faith replaces fear. The law of divine supply does not require effort to force results. It requires inner trust. As soon as doubt enters, the flow slows. As soon as faith returns, it accelerates. Faith is magnetic. It attracts everything that matches its frequency. There is a rhythm to wealth, just as there is a rhythm to the sea. The tide flows in and flows out, yet the ocean never worries. It knows that each retreat of tide is merely preparation for the next surge. When you live according to divine supply, you stop panicking during the low tides. You know that flow is constant, even when it is invisible for a moment. You remain calm, generous, and expectant, for you know that every vacuum must be filled. Every act of trust must be rewarded. The law of divine supply operates with mathematical precision. You may not always understand its workings, but it is always at work. When your consciousness is one of wealth, wealth must appear. When your words speak abundance, abundance must respond. Universe cannot contradict your dominant vibration. Speak, think, and act from the knowing that you live in an infinite ocean of supply, and you will see it reflected in your outer world. Money will no longer seem like something to chase. It will become a natural expression of your alignment with the divine. It will come through expected and unexpected ways, gifts, ideas, work, favor, synchronicities, all flowing from the same invisible source. When you begin to trust that source, you rise above fear, above limitation, above competition. You live in the flow, knowing that as long as you remain faithful to the law, your needs will always be met, your desires will always be supplied, and your life will overflow with abundance that blesses not only you, but everyone around you. Fear and faith cannot live in the same heart. One must always give way to the other. When fear rules, it builds walls. When faith reigns, it opens doors. Fear whispers of lack, loss, and limitation, while faith speaks in the language of power, abundance, and divine certainty. The one who allows fear to guide their thoughts walks through a world of shadows, where every possibility feels uncertain. Every opportunity feels fragile, but the one who lives by faith walks in light, calm, fearless, and unshaken, for they know that the universe responds not to panic, but to confidence in divine order. Every human being faces moments of fear, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of not having enough, but fear is not a natural state, it is a distortion of truth. It arises when the mind forgets that there is an infinite intelligence directing all things, an eternal supply sustaining every need. When you remember this truth, fear dissolves like mist in sunlight. Faith is the remembrance of divine certainty. Fear is the forgetting of it. To live in fear is to live as though you are cut off from the source. To live in faith is to recognize that you are eternally connected to it. Faith does not mean ignoring reality. It means seeing beyond it. It is the inner knowing that what is unseen is more powerful than what is seen. When your outer life appears to lack something, money, opportunity, progress, fear tempts you to believe that lack is permanent. But faith whispers, this is temporary. The divine supply is already moving toward me. Fear looks at the closed door and says, it's over. Faith says, a better door is opening. Fear doubts, faith declares. Fear hesitates, faith acts. Fear contracts, faith expands. Every day, you choose which voice to trust. The law of life is built upon vibration, and fear and faith vibrate at opposite frequencies. Fear sends out waves of resistance that block the flow of abundance. Faith, on the other hand, is magnetic. It opens the channels and draws to you exactly what you believe in. When you hold fear in your mind, you attract situations that confirm it. When you hold faith, you attract proof of divine timing and perfect supply. The universe does not judge or choose, it simply reflects the vibration you offer. This is why shifting from fear to faith is not just emotional healing, it is energetic alignment. When a person lives in fear of money running out, they send a signal of scarcity into the universe. Every purchase feels heavy, every bill feels threatening, and every delay feels like proof of failure. But when that same person decides to trust that divine intelligence governs their finances, everything changes. They begin to spend with peace, give with gratitude, and expect with joy. The vibration of faith draws opportunities and solutions that fear could never allow. Faith does not mean recklessness, it means assurance. It means knowing that what you give, you will receive not by chance, but by law. Faith is not a feeling that visits you occasionally. It is a discipline, a daily practice. It must be spoken, lived, and affirmed until it becomes as natural as breathing. Every time you speak words of faith, I am provided for, all is well. My needs are met in perfect ways, you strengthen that inner muscle. Faith grows through repetition, through declaration, through action taken in confidence. You do not wait for evidence before believing. You believe and then evidence appears. This is the divine order: belief first, manifestation second. The one who waits to see before believing will always live in delay, but the one who believes before seeing moves mountains. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It says, be realistic. Don't expect too much. Things don't change overnight, but divine truth is not bound by logic. It does not need evidence to act. What appears impossible to the rational mind is entirely possible to faith. Faith speaks to mountains, and mountains move. It calls things that are not as though they were, and the universe rearranges itself to match the conviction behind those words. Fear calculates, faith commands. Fear shrinks before obstacles. Faith transforms them into stepping stones. Every great transformation in life begins with a single moment of faith, a decision to trust in what cannot yet be seen. When you let go of fear and declare your faith in divine supply, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. The unseen forces of good immediately go to work. You may not notice instant results, but the shift has already begun. The right people begin to appear, the right opportunity Unfold, and ideas rise in your mind like golden steps leading you forward. Each act of faith draws the unseen closer to visibility. Faith is the great healer of the mind. It dissolves anxiety, insecurity, and the endless need to control. When you live in faith, you no longer chase outcomes. You allow them to unfold. You no longer struggle to make things happen. You trust that they are happening through divine timing. Faith releases the need to force and replaces it with the peace of flow. It allows you to walk calmly through uncertainty, knowing that the very uncertainty is part of a higher design. It lets you rest not in what you have, but in what you know, that the same intelligence that keeps the stars in place is guiding every detail of your life. The beautiful paradox of faith is that it grows strongest in moments of darkness. It is easy to believe when everything is going well, but true faith is born when the path ahead is unclear. When you choose to speak abundance in the face of lack, peace in the face of chaos, and strength in the face of fear, you prove your mastery of life. You become a co-creator, not a victim. Fear collapses before such power, for it cannot survive in the presence of conviction. Faith transforms not only your finances but your entire vibration. It gives you the courage to dream again, to expect good again, to rise each morning knowing that the universe is conspiring for your success. Fear closes your heart, faith opens it. Fear limits your imagination, faith expands it. Fear says, "What if I fail?" Faith says, "What if I soar?" And the moment you choose the second voice, everything in creation begins to move in your favor. So every morning, before the day begins, decide which energy you will serve. Will you bow to fear, that fragile illusion of separation? Or will you walk with faith, that eternal bridge to divine abundance? Choose faith again and again until it becomes the only language you speak. Let every word, every thought, every action declare, "I live under divine law. I trust the infinite source. I am guided, provided for, and sustained." And as you do, the power of faith will dissolve every trace of fear, opening your life to the effortless flow of abundance that was yours all along. Gratitude is the silent magnet of miracles. It is the language of the soul that opens every closed door and multiplies every blessing. When you begin your morning in gratitude, you align your entire being with the rhythm of divine abundance. Gratitude is not merely saying thank you. It is a state of consciousness, a way of seeing the world as already complete, already provided for, already overflowing with good. It is not dependent on circumstances. It creates circumstances. The grateful heart does not wait for proof of prosperity. It speaks prosperity into being. Gratitude is the spiritual currency that purchases more of everything you appreciate. When you wake up and give thanks for what you already have, the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the opportunities ahead, you are telling the universe, "I recognize my blessings." And the universe, which always responds to recognition, says, "Here, take more." The energy of gratitude expands whatever it touches. When you thank your body for its strength, your health improves. When you thank your money, your supply increases. When you thank your challenges, they transform into wisdom. What you appreciate appreciates. This is not philosophy, it is spiritual law. The ungrateful person, on the other hand, lives in an illusion of lack. They look only at what's missing, and by doing so draw more of it into their experience. They spend their days waiting for something external to happen before they feel grateful, but gratitude does not come after the blessing. It calls the blessing forth. The person who says, "I will be thankful when I have more money," will always be waiting, but the one who says, "I am thankful that divine supply already surrounds me," will see doors open, ideas flow, and opportunities multiply. Gratitude is the signal that tells the universe you are ready to receive. Think of gratitude as a vibration, one that resonates with abundance itself. The higher your gratitude, the more easily abundance finds you. Money, health, love, peace all respond to the same frequency. When you feel truly thankful, your vibration rises, and everything matching that energy begins to move toward you. Gratitude is not passive, it is a creative force. It builds momentum, reshapes perspective, and transforms ordinary moments into gateways for miracles. Gratitude turns even the smallest things into treasures. The simple cup of tea, the warm light through your window, the sound of laughter each becomes sacred when seen through the eyes of thankfulness. Gratitude dissolves the restless need for more and replaces it with peace, trust, and contentment. And ironically, it is in this state of contentment that more comes. The moment you stop chasing, you start attracting. Gratitude says, I am enough, I have enough, I live in abundance now. And the universe echoes, yes, you do. Many people misunderstand the purpose of gratitude, thinking it is just an emotional reaction to good fortune. But in truth, it is a tool for transformation. Gratitude is how you communicate with divine intelligence. It is how you acknowledge that you trust the process, even when the evidence is not yet visible. When you give thanks for what you desire before it arrives, you declare your faith in its arrival. This is one of the highest forms of spiritual power. To say thank you before you see the manifestation is to demonstrate mastery over fear and doubt. It says to the universe, I believe. And belief is what turns invisible substance into visible form. Try this each morning. Before you reach for your phone or rush into your day, close your eyes and whisper, thank you. Not for something specific, simply thank the divine for life itself. Then, list silently in your mind 3 things that fill you with appreciation. Feel the energy of those thoughts move through you. That feeling, that warmth, that expansion is your vibration aligning with abundance. If you hold that frequency, even for a few minutes, you will begin to notice how differently the day unfolds. People will treat you more kindly, solutions will appear effortlessly, and you will feel guided, supported, and prosperous in ways you could not have planned. Gratitude also heals. It neutralizes the poison of envy, resentment, and fear. You cannot feel grateful and fearful at the same time. You cannot be envious and thankful in the same breath. Gratitude cleanses the mind of negativity and restores peace to the heart. It allows you to see that everything, even what seems challenging, serves a divine purpose. When you thank your challenges, you transform them. They lose their sting and reveal their hidden gifts. Gratitude turns pain into wisdom and struggle into strength. The key is to make gratitude a habit, not a reaction. Practice it not only when things go well, but especially when they seem difficult. Say, thank you for this lesson. Thank you for this opportunity to grow. Thank you for what I do not yet understand. This kind of gratitude expands your spiritual vision. It helps you see that even delays and detours are guiding you towards something greater. The universe never takes away without replacing, never closes one door without opening another, and gratitude keeps you aligned with that truth. Gratitude is also the foundation of financial abundance. Many people pray for more money but speak of their current situation with complaint and frustration. They focus on bills, debts, and shortages, unknowingly reinforcing the vibration of lack. But when you bless the money you already have, when you thank it for serving you, you set it in motion to return with increase. Say, thank you for every dollar that has ever come to me. Thank you for every opportunity to earn, give, and receive. This simple practice changes your relationship with money. It transforms it from a source of stress into a flow of joy. Money responds to gratitude because gratitude affirms its purpose, circulation, service, and abundance. It is impossible to live in gratitude and lack at the same time. Gratitude is abundance made visible through thought. It is the proof that you already have access to divine supply, even before the evidence shows. When you cultivate a grateful heart, the universe entrusts you with more because you have proven yourself a wise steward of blessings. Gratitude multiplies everything because it aligns your mind with the truth that ***, all good already exists ***, and is waiting only for your recognition. Each morning, let gratitude be your first act. Before you speak of what you want, give thanks for what is. Before you seek change, bless what already surrounds you. Gratitude is the password to every higher level of prosperity. It softens resistance, amplifies joy, and harmonizes your vibration with the rhythm of divine supply. You do not need to force success or chase wealth when you live in Gratitude both will find you naturally, drawn by the magnetic energy of appreciation. As you walk through your day, whisper thank you, often for the breath you take, the people you meet, the work you do, the sunlight that warms your face. Make gratitude your constant prayer, your silent affirmation, your inner song. Soon you will notice that even the smallest details of life shimmer with meaning. Doors open effortlessly, money flows easily, peace replaces struggle. For gratitude is not just a virtue, it is the alchemy of abundance, the secret language through which the universe pours its blessings upon those who remember to say, thank you. Faith is the invisible bridge between desire and manifestation. It is the quiet, unwavering knowing that what you have asked for already exists unseen, perhaps, but real and waiting for your recognition. Faith is the power that transforms ideas into experiences, prayers into results, and thoughts into reality. It does not rely on evidence, it creates evidence. The person of faith walks through darkness as if it were light, speaks abundance in the face of lack, and holds peace even when circumstances seem uncertain. Faith is not mere hope, it is certainty. Hope waits, faith knows. Every great manifestation begins as a seed of faith. When you speak your desires aloud for success, wealth, health, or love, you plant them in the soil of the unseen. Faith is the sunlight and water that nurture that seed until it breaks through into visible form. Without faith, the seed lies dormant. With faith, it grows unstoppable. Faith does not need to understand how things will happen. It simply knows that they will. It is the silent force that moves mountains, the divine assurance that all things are possible to the one who believes. Many people say they have faith, but what they truly have is wishful thinking mixed with doubt. They speak words of desire but fill them with fear. They pray for prosperity yet expect lack. They affirm abundance in the morning and worry about bills at night. This is not faith. This is contradiction. Faith cannot live in a divided mind. It is absolute, singular, and unwavering. True faith does not waver when the outer world shows no sign of change. It holds steady, declaring, "It is done," even before the evidence appears. Faith is an inner vision, a way of seeing beyond appearances. It looks not at what is, but at what can be, and in that seeing, it calls the invisible into visibility. When you walk by faith, you are no longer ruled by conditions. You do not ask, "How will this happen?" You declare, "This is already mine." You release the need to control, for you understand that divine intelligence is orchestrating the details far better than you could imagine. Faith says, "I don't need to know the way, I only need to know it is on its way." Faith is the opposite of fear. Fear says, "What if it doesn't work?" Faith says, "What if it already has?" Fear is the energy of resistance. Faith is the energy of flow. When you believe in lack, you create more of it. When you believe in abundance, you magnetize opportunities. Faith aligns you with the frequency of what you desire. It tells the universe, "I am ready to receive." The universe then responds with situations, people, and ideas that match that vibration. You begin to attract precisely what you believe you deserve. Every morning when you rise, declare your faith aloud. Say, "I walk in divine abundance today. Everything I need flows to me easily and perfectly. I trust the timing of my life." Speak these words not as empty affirmations, but as commands of truth. Feel their power. Let them vibrate through your entire being. When spoken with conviction, words of faith become living energy. They go forth and rearrange circumstances to fulfill themselves. The moment you speak in faith, the law of divine supply begins to work on your behalf. Faith is not tested when things are easy, it is proven in the waiting, the uncertainty, the silence. It is in those moments when nothing seems to move that your belief has the greatest power. When the path is unclear, that is when you say, "Even now I trust." When the bills come before the payment, you say, "Even now I am provided for." When doors seem closed, you say, "Even now something greater is opening." Faith is your anchor in the unseen. It keeps you calm when storms rise and centered when everything seems to fall apart. It whispers, "This too is working for your good." Understand, this faith is not about forcing outcomes. It is about aligning with divine order. When you truly trust, you release the need to struggle. You stop chasing, pushing, or worrying. You allow, you open your hands and say, I let go of how and when I know it is already done. This surrender is not weakness, it is power. For only when your hands are open can the universe place new blessings within them. Faith and surrender walk together. One believes, the other allows. When you cultivate faith, you begin to see miracles not as rare events but as natural expressions of divine law. Every coincidence, every unexpected gift, every perfectly timed opportunity, these are faith's footprints. You start realizing that the universe has always been conspiring in your favor, waiting for you to believe enough to receive. Faith transforms your inner dialogue. Instead of saying, I can't, you say, I can. Instead of I don't know, you say, I am guided. Instead of I hope, you say, I know. That shift in consciousness changes everything. Faith in abundance is the foundation of prosperity. Attract wealth, you must believe that supply is infinite and that it flows through you, not away from you. Every time you doubt your worthiness to receive, you block the flow. But when you say, I am a channel for divine supply, money is drawn to me in perfect ways, you open the floodgates. Faith allows you to act with courage, to take inspired steps even before the outcome is visible. It is the invisible hand that pushes you forward, reminding you that divine timing never fails. The greatest secret of faith is that it does not wait for signs, it becomes the sign. It speaks, moves, and acts as if the dream is already reality. It does not beg, it claims. It does not wish, it declares. And through that declaration, the universe rearranges itself in perfect harmony with your belief. So walk in faith today, not halfway, but completely. When doubt whispers, answer with certainty. When fear rises, respond with truth. Say to yourself, I live in a universe that always provides. What I need is already on its way. I am guided, supported, and supplied in all things. And as you speak these words with conviction, you will feel something shift within you, a calm confidence, a quiet knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. Faith is your greatest power. It is the currency of miracles, the bridge from thought to form, the key that unlocks every door. And when you hold it unwaveringly, no obstacle can stand, no delay can last, and no dream can remain unfulfilled. For the universe always answers to faith, not sometimes, not maybe, but always. Words are not mere sounds, they are forces. Vibrations, living currents of energy that shape the invisible into the visible. Every word you speak carries a frequency, and that frequency creates your experience. Words build worlds. You are never simply talking. You are declaring, commanding, and creating. The spoken word is one of the most powerful tools of manifestation ever given to humankind. It is through words that the unseen becomes seen. When you speak, you set the creative law of the universe into motion, and it listens without question to every vibration you send forth. Most people speak carelessly, unaware that their words are constantly sculpting their reality. They say things like, I'm always broke, nothing ever works for me, or I never get lucky, not realizing they are writing the script of their lives in those very sentences. The law of manifestation does not discriminate between positive or negative words, it simply obeys. When you declare lack, you invite it. When you speak abundance, you summon it. Your words are magnetic, they attract experiences of matching vibration. To change your life, you must first change your speech. Every successful person, every spiritually awakened soul, understands the sacredness of the spoken word. They speak intentionally, knowing that each phrase plants a seed in the garden of the mind. What you say repeatedly becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you live. This is why words of faith, gratitude, and abundance are so powerful. They reprogram the subconscious mind to expect prosperity, and what you expect, you receive. When you speak words of power with conviction and emotion, you set a creative force in motion that nothing can resist. The moment you say, I am, you invoke the creative presence of the universe. Those two words are the name of divine power within you. Whatever follows I am becomes a decree. When you say, I am blessed, blessings rush toward you. When you say, I am wealthy, abundance begins to organize itself in your favor. But when you say, I am tired, I am poor, or I am unlucky, you misuse that divine power to create more of what you don't want. Every I am statement is a command to your subconscious, and your subconscious always obeys. To use words as a tool of creation, you must speak with faith, clarity, and emotion. Faith gives your words substance, clarity gives them direction, and emotion gives them power. Empty affirmations do little. Spoken truth, felt deeply, moves mountains. When you affirm something with absolute conviction, you are not trying to make it true, you are declaring that it already is. The universe rearranges itself to reflect belief. That is the essence of divine creation. The words of power are always words of alignment with abundance, peace, and divine supply. Say things like, I am guided by divine intelligence. I am a magnet for prosperity. I am surrounded by success and opportunity. I speak abundance into my life. Say them often, not as rituals, but as truths. Speak them when you wake, as you work, when you face challenges, when you feel afraid. Speak them until they become your inner dialogue, until doubt fades and faith becomes your natural language. Understand that words are not only heard, they are felt. The vibration of your speech affects your energy field and the people around you. When you speak words of kindness, love, and confidence, you uplift not only yourself but everyone who hears you. You become a channel of light, transmitting energy that transforms. This is why gossip, criticism, and complaint are so destructive. They lower your vibration, weaken your confidence, and block your flow of abundance. Every negative word you speak is like planting a weed in your own garden. Uproot them immediately and replace them with words of truth. If you want to transform your finances, begin by transforming your language around money. Never say, I can't afford this. Instead, say, I choose to attract wealth easily and wisely. Never say, money is hard to get. Instead, say, money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. Never say, I have no luck. Say, everything I touch prospers. The difference between those sentences is not for the universe mirrors your words exactly. Your voice is the key that opens or closes the door to abundance. The spoken word is how you command energy. Think of it like music. When your words are in harmony with divine law, with truth, love, gratitude, and belief, you create a melody that draws blessings toward you. When your words are filled with doubt and fear, you create dissonance that repels what you desire. The universe is always listening, always responding, always echoing your vibration back to you in physical form. Begin today to speak as a creator, not as a victim. Do not describe your life by what you see, describe it by what you desire. Speak of wealth even when your wallet is light. Speak of health even when your body feels tired. Speak of peace even when the world seems chaotic. You are not lying, you are prophesying. You are declaring what is becoming. Every great change begins with a word spoken in faith. When you persist, the outer world must eventually conform to the inner declaration. There is a sacred power in repetition, the continual speaking of truth until it becomes reality. Each time you affirm your prosperity, you strengthen the neural pathways in your brain that recognize abundance as normal. Each word of faith rewires your energy, aligns your emotions, and instructs your subconscious to seek and attract matching experiences. The more you speak abundance, the more abundant you feel. The more abundant you feel, the more abundance you attract. Be deliberate in your speech. Speak life into every area of your existence, your finances, your relationships, your dreams. Let your words be infused with expectancy and joy. If you stumble, if you catch yourself speaking lack, stop and correct it instantly. Replace I can't with I can. Replace I'm afraid with I am fearless. Replace I hope with I know. Over time, you will notice the atmosphere around you changing, more ease, more flow, more synchronicity. Remember this eternal truth. Asterisk you create by word, thought, and feeling, but the word spoken with faith is the fastest channel of manifestation. Asterisk you have been given a divine instrument, your voice, and the authority to command the unseen. Use it wisely. Every morning, declare your abundance. Every night, speak gratitude. Let your words be a continuous prayer of power, shaping your destiny moment by moment. For when your words align with divine truth, you no longer chase miracles, you speak them into being. Visualization is the art of seeing with the eyes of the spirit, holding a picture so clearly in your mind that the universe itself begins to shape it into form. Everything that exists began first as an image in someone's imagination. The house you live in, the phone you hold, the world you move through, all of it was once an idea. Creation begins in the mind. What you can see inwardly, you can experience outwardly. The power of visualization is not fantasy, it is focused faith. It is the deliberate act of painting your future on the canvas of your imagination and then stepping into that picture with absolute belief. When you visualize, you enter the divine workshop of creation. You move beyond words into the language of images, a language your subconscious mind understands perfectly. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. Whatever picture you hold with emotion and repetition, it accepts as truth and then goes to work attracting people, situations, and ideas to make that picture real. Visualization, then, is not pretending, it is pre-creating. It is the process of impressing the mind with the outcome you desire so deeply that it becomes inevitable. To visualize effectively, you must first become still, quiet your thoughts, release tension, and bring your focus inward. Then imagine your desire as if it were already accomplished. See it vividly, the details, the colors, the sounds, the sensations. If it is wealth you seek, see yourself holding the check, paying your bills with ease, smiling. As money flows freely to you, feel the security, the joy, the freedom that abundance brings. If it is success, see yourself walking confidently into that room, receiving applause, signing the contract, or helping others through your work. The more real it feels, the faster it manifests. Emotion is the magnet that gives visualization its power. Simply imagining something is not enough, you must feel it. The feeling of already having what you desire is the key that unlocks the door. When you see yourself as already successful, already prosperous, already free, your energy shifts. You begin to radiate the vibration of that reality, and life responds in kind. The universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you believe you already have. Visualization bridges that gap. It trains your mind and emotions to dwell in the vibration of fulfillment until fulfillment appears. Most people visualize what they fear instead of what they want. They replay scenes of failure, worry, and lack, and then wonder why those very experiences keep repeating. The imagination is a creative tool. It does not question your focus, it simply magnifies it. When you continually imagine problems, you energize them. When you picture abundance, you attract it. So guard your mental screen carefully, make it sacred ground, let no image of fear or limitation take root there. Make visualization a daily ritual. Each morning, before the world's noise enters your mind, take 5 quiet minutes to see your day unfold perfectly. See yourself at peace, handling every task with grace and confidence. Imagine receiving unexpected money, kind words, or opportunities that move you closer to your goals. As you fall asleep at night, replay those same images. Your subconscious will work on them as you rest. Every image you impress upon your mind before sleep becomes a seed planted in the soil of the unseen, growing quietly while you dream. You will know your visualization is working when your emotions begin to align with your vision. You'll feel lighter, more confident, more expectant. You'll start to notice coincidences, a phone call, a chance meeting, an unexpected offer that seemed to appear out of nowhere. That is not coincidence, that is creation. The universe rearranges itself to mirror the picture you hold. It listens to your dominant vision. If your inner movie is one of abundance and success, your outer life will soon match it. If doubt arises, do not fight it. Simply return to the image. The picture is your anchor. Each time fear tries to intrude, close your eyes and say, "This is already mine." See yourself calm, radiant, and fulfilled. Faith and imagination are twin powers. Faith believes and imagination sees. Together, they form the creative force that shapes destiny. When your faith unites with your vision, no external obstacle can stand. Visualization is not only for big dreams, it can transform everyday moments. Before an important meeting, visualize it going perfectly. Before a payment, visualize money flowing easily. Before a conversation, see it ending in harmony. These small acts of inner seeing shift your vibration immediately and attract better results. The more consistently you practice, the more natural it becomes. Until visualization becomes not an exercise, but a way of living, a constant awareness that you are the creator of your experience. Understand this truth: you cannot attract what you cannot imagine. If you want wealth but cannot picture yourself living prosperously, your subconscious will reject it. If you want love but imagine rejection, you block it. The mind must see before the hands can receive. Visualization trains the mind to accept abundance as normal, familiar, and deserved. Once the mind accepts it, the world must reflect it. That is law. So each morning, paint the picture of your perfect life with words and images of gratitude, wealth, and joy. Feel it, believe it, claim it. Say, I see myself living in abundance. I see myself at peace. I see myself fulfilling my purpose. And as you do, the universe begins to match your vision, detail by detail. The people, the timing, the resources all fall into place. Hold your vision, nourish it daily, speak it, feel it, see it until the line between imagination and reality dissolves. When your inner vision becomes more real than your outer world has no choice but to transform. Visualization is not daydreaming, it is destiny making. It is how you step into the creative power that was always yours, how you turn invisible faith into visible fortune. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful spiritual tools for abundance, healing, and inner peace. It is not weakness, nor is it forgetting what was done, it is freedom. To forgive is to release yourself from the chains of resentment and open the floodgates of divine supply. You cannot hold onto anger and expect prosperity to flow, for unforgiveness blocks the very channels through which blessings move. When you cling to bitterness, you vibrate in lack. When you forgive, you return to love, and love is the true frequency of abundance. Forgiveness clears the path for miracles. Many people misunderstand forgiveness. They think it means approving of someone's wrongdoing or pretending the pain never happened. But forgiveness is not about the other person, it is about you. It is a spiritual act of cleansing that releases you from the emotional weight that keeps you tied to the past. When you forgive, you are saying, I will no longer let this situation control my energy, my thoughts, or my future. You are reclaiming your power. The moment you truly forgive, you feel lighter, freer, and more aligned with divine peace. Unforgiveness is like carrying heavy stones in your heart. Each grudge, each resentment, each memory of betrayal adds another weight. Over time, these stones grow heavier, blocking your energy and clouding your vision. You may be praying for success or prosperity, but the divine cannot pour new blessings into a vessel already filled with anger and pain. Forgiveness empties that vessel so it can be refilled with peace, joy, and abundance. It is spiritual housekeeping, clearing the old energy to make space for new miracles. When you forgive, you are not doing it for the other person's sake. You are doing it for your own soul's peace. You are declaring, no one and nothing has power over my happiness. You are freeing yourself from being a prisoner of someone else's actions. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The moment you release that poison, your entire life begins to heal. Forgiveness is a self-liberating act. It breaks emotional and energetic bonds that keep you repeating the same patterns of pain. Forgiveness also restores your creative power. When you hold resentment, your energy is divided. Part of you is in the present, and part of you is trapped in the past. But when you forgive, you gather all of your energy back into the now. That energy, once wasted on anger, becomes available for creation, for new ideas, new opportunities, new prosperity. This is why so many people experience breakthroughs in finances, relationships, or health after forgiving. The energy that was blocked begins to flow freely again. To forgive is to trust that divine justice is always at work. It is to understand that life balances itself perfectly, even when you cannot see how. Every wrong, every betrayal, every painful experience carries within it a lesson, a seed of wisdom that ultimately serves your growth. When you forgive, you say, I release the need to judge or seek revenge. I trust that all is being made right in divine timing. This surrender does not make you weak, it makes you powerful. For the moment you stop resisting, life begins to flow in favor again. Forgiveness is also a profound act of self-love. You must forgive yourself just as deeply as you forgive others. Many people block their blessings not because they cannot forgive others, but because they cannot forgive themselves for mistakes, for mischances, for poor choices made in fear. But know this, you were doing the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. Guilt and shame serve no purpose once the lesson is learned. Speak gently to yourself. Say, I forgive myself for all that I did when I did not know better. I release myself to live freely in the now. The past cannot be changed, but your relationship to it can. When you forgive, you transform the energy of the past from pain into power. What once hurt you becomes the very thing that strengthens you. The memory remains, but it no longer stings. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone to wisdom and compassion. Forgiveness turns wounds into wings. It elevates your spirit and aligns you with divine order, where everything, even the painful, serves a purpose. You may ask, but how do I forgive when it hurts so deeply? Start small, begin by being willing to forgive. You do not have to feel ready, you only have to intend it. Say, I am willing to release this pain. I am willing to be free. The universe will respond to that willingness and soften your heart over time. Visualize the person or situation you are forgiving surrounded by light. Imagine that light dissolving every cord of anger, every knot of pain, every shadow of resentment. Then say silently, I release you and set you free. You go your way in peace and I go mine. Repeat this often, even if your emotions resist. Forgiveness is a process, not a single moment. Each time you choose to release instead of resent, you reclaim a piece of your power. You rise a little higher in vibration, and soon you will notice something miraculous. The very people and situations that once hurt you lose their hold over you completely. You can think of them without pain, speak of them with neutrality, and move forward with grace. That is when you know forgiveness has done its work. Forgiveness opens the channel to abundance because it restores harmony within you. The universe is built on harmony. When your heart is free of conflict, your outer world reflects that peace. Money flows easily, relationships heal, opportunities multiply. Why? Because you are no longer resisting life, you are flowing with it. You are no longer sending out vibrations of anger or lack, but of love and release. And love is the most magnetic force in existence. Make forgiveness part of your daily spiritual practice. Each night before you sleep, release the day. Forgive yourself, forgive others, forgive every situation that didn't go as planned. Say, I bless this day and let it go. Nothing and no one has power over my peace. You will sleep lighter, wake clearer, and begin to see new blessings appear without struggle. Remember this truth. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength. The strength to rise above pain and choose peace. It is the key that unlocks your heart and lets divine abundance pour through. The moment you forgive, you reclaim your freedom. You align yourself with the flow of love, the highest vibration in the universe. And from that vibration, all good things, wealth, health, joy, and harmony begin to find their way effortlessly into your life. Faith is the invisible bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. It is not a belief born from evidence, it is the conviction that what you seek already exists in the unseen realm and is on its way to you. Faith is not blind optimism, it is divine knowing. It whispers, even though I cannot yet see it, I know it is done. When you live by faith, you align with universal law because everything in creation first exists as thought, then becomes form. Faith is the creative power that transforms the invisible into the visible. Faith is the essence of all miracles. Every breakthrough, every answered prayer, every manifestation begins with faith. The size of your faith determines the size of your blessings. When you doubt, you delay the process. When you believe, you accelerate it. The universe responds not to your wishes, but to your vibration, and faith is the vibration of certainty. It tells the divine, I trust, I believe, I am ready. That unwavering trust becomes a magnet for abundance, opportunities, healing, and success. Many people misunderstand faith. They think it means passively waiting for something to happen. But faith is active. It is courage in motion. It means taking inspired action even when the path is unclear. It means moving forward when logic says stop, trusting that each step will appear as you walk. Faith is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move despite fear. You don't need to see the entire staircase to climb it. You only need to trust the next step. Faith begins in the heart, not the mind. The mind doubts. It demands proof. But the heart knows truth before evidence appears. To live in faith is to live from the heart, to listen to that inner voice that says, everything is unfolding perfectly, even if I cannot see how. When you let go of control and allow divine timing to work, you move from anxiety to assurance. The universe rearranges itself to match your vibration of trust. Without faith, you live in reaction to circumstances. With faith, you live in creation. Circumstances no longer define you, they respond to you. Even when things appear to fall apart, faith reminds you that divine order is still at work behind the scenes. What looks like a delay is preparation. What seems like rejection is redirection. Faith allows you to rest in the truth that all things are working together for your highest good. Faith also dissolves fear, for faith and fear cannot coexist. Fear says, what if I lose? Faith says, what if I win? Fear focuses on lack. Faith focuses on abundance. When you choose faith, you raise your vibration to match the frequency of what you desire. You begin to attract the very circumstances, people, and resources that align with your belief. Life mirrors your inner state, so when you believe in good, good must appear. Faith is a seed. It may begin small, like a flicker of hope, but when nurtured with trust and gratitude, it grows into unshakable certainty. You water it with affirmations, with visualization, with praise even before results appear. Every time you choose to believe instead of doubt, you strengthen that seed. Soon, what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. That is the power of faith. It transforms dreams into destiny. When you walk by faith, you are guided by intuition rather than fear. You begin to notice signs, synchronicities, and divine nudges that confirm you are on the right path. Life becomes a dance between your belief and the universe's response. You realize you are co-creating reality, not begging for miracles. You are expecting them, knowing they are your natural right. Faith does not mean life will always be easy, but it guarantees that every challenge will carry purpose. When storms come, faith anchors you. You no longer crumble under pressure because you know the outcome is already secured. You say, I don't know how, but I know it will work out. That attitude alone shifts energy, and soon, solutions appear where there once were none. Faith is also the foundation of abundance. Every wealthy, joyful, fulfilled person began with faith in themselves, in their vision, in the unseen power guiding them. You cannot receive prosperity if you secretly doubt it's possible for you. The universe gives according to your belief. So declare, I believe I am worthy of all good things. I trust that my dreams are already mine. That statement of faith opens doors nothing else can. True faith is not shaken by temporary appearances. When something doesn't go as planned, faith says, this too is part of the plan. It recognizes that delays are not denials. It understands that divine timing is perfect. Faith gives you patience when you want to rush, peace when you want to panic, and strength when you want to quit. It keeps you steady in the waiting. To cultivate faith, begin by focusing on what has already worked in your life. Recall the moments when help came unexpectedly. When things turned out better than you imagined. Gratitude reinforces faith because it reminds you that the same power that helped you before will help you again. Each memory of divine assistance becomes a brick in the foundation of unshakable trust. Faith thrives in silence. Spend time each day in stillness, affirming everything is working in my favor. Visually